Real estate service practice prior to the RISA was DTI Ministry Order Number 39, Series of 1985. The law that governed the real estate service practice prior to the RISA was DTI Ministry Order Number 39, Series of 1985. As Freddie decided to be a real estate broker, it is therefore required he must, in the meantime, be a graduate of a relevant bachelor's degree. RA 9646, the Real Estate Service Act of the Philippines became effective last July 30, 2009. A city government official whose purpose is primarily for taxation purposes as provided under the RISA is the real estate assessor. In case DD Development Corporation will engage in the development of land for a memorial park, the corporation shall be referred to under the RISA and defined as a real estate developer. Herbert, as a real estate appraiser, is a person who conducts valuation appraisal with the necessary qualifications and experience to direct the valuation of real property and is also referred to as valuer. It refers to the land improvements and all those attached to the land which are tangible and physical. Real estate. Previously a licensed real estate salesman under MO 39 series of 1985, the salesman is now referred to under the RISA as accredited real estate salesperson. For the assessor, as provided under the RISA, it shall refer to the chief assessor of the municipality or city or province and includes the public government appraiser, referred to as the APO, which is a national organization of natural real estate service practitioners and means accredited and integrated professional organization. A real estate appraiser who was licensed in under the DTI may still be allowed to register without examination under the principle of grandfather clause. The Real Estate Service Board or the Professional Regulatory Board of Real Estate Service is composed of a chairperson and how many other members? 4 members. For its creation, the nomination of members to the Real Estate Service Board is initially made by the accredited and integrated professional organization. A real estate broker employed a real estate salesperson to help him sell condo units. In this case, the real estate salesperson must be a accredited real estate salesperson. The first national organization which was recognized and appointed to perform duties prior to the recognition of the official APO was the IAPO, Interim Accredited Professional Organization. In addition to licensing with the PRC, a real estate broker who intends to sell a residential subdivision project must also register with LRB. The Professional Regulatory Board of Real Estate Service shall be under the supervision of this government agency. PRC, Professional Regulation Commission. A real estate salesperson's registration with the LRB shall automatically be terminated upon termination of his employment by the real estate broker. The Professional Regulatory Board of Real Estate Service has the supervisory powers over the real estate broker, and the broker's license may be suspended under the following ground: unethical practice. In case of a vacancy in the board, it shall be filled up for the position vacated, which shall be for the period of unexpired portion of the term of member who vacated division lots of a project and become a real estate salesperson but would need the educational requirement of at least 2 years of college. Under the DTI Ministry Order Number 39, Series of 1985, a person may become a licensed real estate salesman and provided the person is at least high school graduate. As provided under Presidential Decree Number 957, a real estate salesperson who sells condominium units for a project must file a bond in the amount of P1000. The PRBRES shall prescribe the essential requirements as to the curricula and facilities of schools, colleges, or universities in cooperation with the Commission on Higher Education. If a complaint was filed by a buyer with the PRBRES for violation of the RISA and the broker was found liable, he may appeal to the Professional Regulation Commission. If a real estate broker failed to renew his license before the effectivity of the RISA, the broker was required to take the following continuing professional education units: 24 CPE units. Suspension of a member of the Professional Regulatory Board of Real Estate Service for ground under the RISA shall be made by the President of the Philippines. It is considered not a ground for the removal of the chairperson of the Professional Regulatory Board of Real Estate Service. Conviction of the crime of slight physical injuries. An applicant who wants to be registered and licensed as a real estate service practitioner shall undergo an examination to be given by the board excluding the following: real estate salesperson, in order to conform to technological and modern developments, the subjects for examinations may be reclustered, modified, added to, or excluded as may be found necessary by the Professional Regulatory Board of Real Estate Service. The bachelor's degree adopted in coordination with the CHED for real estate service and required under the RISA is called Bachelor of Science in Real Estate Management. The following is not a requirement to qualify to take the real estate appraiser's licensure examinations. Must be a resident of the Philippines. In case of an applicant for the examination for real estate consultants, proof must be shown that he/she has years experience as a licensed real estate appraiser or as a bank or institutional appraiser of 5 years. The licensure examinations for real estate brokers, he/she must have completed how many units of real estate subjects and training from accredited service providers as may be determined by the board. 120 units. A candidate may be deemed to have passed the examination if she obtained an average in all subjects of 75%. Results of the licensure examination shall be released by the board from the last day of the examination within 10 days. As she just passed the real estate broker's examinations, Agnes will be given a certificate of registration by the Professional Regulation Commission which will be valid until revoked. For an examinee for the licensure examinations for real estate broker, he or she must have no rating in any subject below 50%. Under the RISA, in addition to the certification of registration, a successful examinee shall also be given by the PRC the following: professional identification card. The present, the PRC chairperson in charge of the Professional Regulation Commission is Florentino C. Doble. Renewal of the professional identification card shall be upon satisfying the requirements of the board such as, but not limited to, attendance in the CPE program and shall be renewed every 3 years. The required bond for the private real estate appraiser to practice real estate service shall be in the amount of P20,000. A real estate broker is required to post a bond in the amount of P20,000 with PRC and P5,000 with LERB under PD 957 and P1,000 for real estate salesperson also with LERB. How much total bond should therefore be posted by a real estate broker? P20,000. Upon application and payment of the required fees, subject to the approval of the PRC, special temporary permits may be issued to real estate service practitioners from foreign countries in case of unavailability of local practitioners to enhance the practice. Renewal of the professional identification card issued to a real estate service practitioner shall be every 3 years. In case of practice involving condominium projects, the following shall not be required to post a bond with the government. Real estate consultant. Foreign real estate service practitioners shall be issued a special temporary permit under RA number 9646 and the IRR unless there is foreign reciprocity between their countries. A successful examinee must, before engaging in the practice of real estate service, undertake the following. Take an oath before the board. The number of acts performed by a real estate service practitioner shall constitute an act of engaging in the practice of real estate service. At least one transaction, a roster of registered professional real estate service practitioners will be made but which will not include the following information. Email address of practitioner. A real estate marketing corporation that will sell subdivision projects, it is required that there should be licensed real estate brokers with the following maximum number of real estate salespersons each: 20 PRC accredited and LERB registered real estate salespersons. The minimum fine that may be imposed on a person who engages in real estate service practice without a license is P200,000. To engage in practice of the profession of a real estate broker whose office is in Manila, professional tax must be paid and is payable to City Treasurer of Manila. A real estate appraiser was found liable by the PRBRES. He may appeal the decision of the PRBRES to the PRC Commission within 15 days from receipt of decision upon application and compliance with the required CPE units, and for reasons deemed proper and sufficient, the board may reinstate any revoked certificate of registration and reissue a suspended professional identification card after a period of 2 years. One of the following will not be considered to be engaged in the practice of real estate service. A house owner who will sell his own lot. It is not required for the following practitioner to be a member of the Outpo for real estate service practitioners. The penalty to be imposed on an unlicensed real estate appraiser is least P200,000 fine or 4 years imprisonment. Arnold, a licensed real estate broker, wanted to set up a real estate marketing group and he may engage the services of 20 accredited real estate salespersons. Jules just passed the real estate broker's examinations and rented out an office space for her practice. It is required that she must display in her place of business the following: certificate of registration. The real estate service practitioners must abide by the Code of Ethics for the practice promulgated by the board, which is referred to as National Code of Ethics and Responsibilities. Ailing Medding used to sell lots in a subdivision but only finished high school. Under the IRR of the RISA, she could have continued to practice so long as she takes continuing education program for 120 hours real estate seminar and training. As required under the IRR of the RISA, the following practitioner should be full-time in his or her work. Division Manager. For violation of the provisions of the RISA and its IRR by a real estate partnership, the following may be made liable for violation. The partner. If one wanted to be qualified to be a member of the Professional Regulatory Board, it is required that one should have experience as a licensed real estate broker for at least. It is the power of the board not to register and issue a certificate of registration to any successful examinee of 10 years. It is the power of the board not to register and issue a certificate of registration to any successful examinee of found to be psychologically unfit. For the renewal of the professional identification card of a real estate consultant, it is required that the practitioner must be a member in good standing of the APO. In order for a person aspiring to be the city assessor or to a higher credential level under the RISA, the person must be a licensed real estate appraiser, a current assessor who, on the date of the effective RA number 9646, shall be allowed to register without examination, among others, provided they hold permanent appointments and are performing actual appraisal and assessment functions for the last 5 years and have passed the Real Property Assessing Officer examinations. A person who wants to engage in real estate service practice shall be required to post a bond in the amount of P20,000 if he will be a real estate private appraiser. Marie wanted to sell condo projects as a real estate salesperson. She must register with LIRB and post a bond in the amount of P1,000. The expiry of the registration with LIRB of a real estate broker expires every December 31st of the year. In addition to the license number and PTR, the broker must also indicate in the documents he signs the following: APO receipt number. The required membership to the APO of a real estate practitioner shall be automatic and mandatory. If Louise was found guilty of violation of the RISA without a license and may be imposed the penalty of at least P200,000 fine. No real estate salesperson either directly or indirectly can negotiate, mediate, or transact any real estate transaction for and in behalf of a real estate broker without first securing accreditation from the PRC. In the PRB RES logo, the color blue represents the color of service. In case of the bond required of a private real estate appraiser, the bond may be made in the manner of surety bond. One of the following is exempted from the coverage of the real estate service practice in case of selling the property of a private owner: attorney in fact who does not require compensation. 6. Owner. 7. Trustee. The first chairman of the Professional Regulatory Board of Real Estate Services, Eduardo Ong. The law that governs the Professional Regulation Commission, RA 8981, PRC Modernization Act of 2000. As the APO, the Accredited and Integrated Professional Organization approved by the PRC last 2011, is called PhilReis, Philippine Institute of Real Estate Service Practitioners. The various regulatory boards under the PRC are grouped into an association referred to as the PAPRB, Philippine Association of Professional Regulatory Board. The following is not issued a separate license for the practice of their specified profession: real estate assessor,